What's going on, guys? Welcome back into the channel. Today we have a huge matchup in the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise as we look to close out our series, or our season rather, in weeks 16, 17, and 18 against very tough opponents. We're going to have the Kansas City Chiefs today, who are coming into town on a pretty good winning streak. They are coming in at 11-3, and we are sitting at 12-2. We also have the Browns next up at 8-6, and then the Ravens after that at 10-4. So we have a very tough stretch to end the season here, and realistically, the number one seed that we currently hold could very well be overtaken by another team, likely potentially the Kansas City Chiefs, especially if they win today's matchup. So we have a very interesting episode ahead of us. We're going to go ahead and dive into this matchup and see what happens. We did have one return from injury today, and that's going to be Diontae Johnson is finally back into the lineup in week 16. So we're getting healthy at the right point in the season, and I think that should help us with our playoff run as we head into the playoffs here. This game is going to be played here in Kansas City, one of the toughest places to play, if not the toughest place to play in all of the National Football League. So we have a tough battle ahead of us here. Patrick Mahomes looking to take his team to another title for his division, looking to take his team to another Super Bowl. I would imagine, regardless of what happens in this game, one of these two teams is going to get their rematch chance come playoff time. We'll see what happens, but KC is indeed going to open up with the ball in today's game. They are pass-heavy offense. Our defense doing successful things already. Ingram gets in there for the sack on the first play of the game. I don't know if play action rolling out to the left side of the field is necessarily going to get it done for Kansas City. When they start to drop back and stuff, though, they should be able to find gaps in our coverage. We do not have the best defensive backs all around. We do have some guys like Minkah Fitzpatrick there back at safety, and as well as Terrell Edmonds, who is now a superstar player in our franchise. So we have a couple of pretty good players on the back end of the secondary, but our cornerbacks, although they have played pretty well so far this season, have not been fantastic. A jumped ball there, almost getting an interception, and we do force the early 3 and out. So we will be getting the ball back. We will also be getting the ball to start the second half. Things looking good so far, and we'll see what we can produce on offense. Diontae Johnson going to take this punt, and we'll be set up on the 35 for our first drive of the game. See if we can't open up here with a short little handoff. Not a lot of room to run. That's to be expected. A very good defense going against a pretty subpar offensive line here. We are going to get called for the holding penalty on our left tackle, Chukwuma Okorafor. That's going to set us back to a 1st and 20, and we're going to have to try to open things up here earlier than we might have hoped. Lining up once again. We're going to see if we can't hit somebody on the sideline. Juju is open over there. Ben almost overthrows that ball, but Juju gets himself massive amounts of space. More than enough space there in order to get himself open, so a really nice play to put us up near the 50-yard line. I don't know that I love the idea of attempting to run directly at this defense right this second. I think Deontay's open. Ben can't make that throw across his body. Honestly, not a bad attempt there. Jones, though, I believe that's Chris Jones, one of their best defensive linemen, getting taken out of the game here early. I'm going to go ahead and just go with an inside zone play. Now target that section of the defensive line specifically, because that's where he got removed from. We will pick up 3. Brings up a 3rd and 7 situation. Pretty crucial 3rd down situation here. And we are across the 50, so we are potentially close to territory where we might want to consider going for it if we don't get this. Freiermuth is going to get open, though, having a huge season, and a really nice block by Diontae Johnson. Diontae Johnson showing why he's getting his spot back on the field. The great effort that we've seen out of him this season to turn into a fantastic receiver for this team and a great team player. He's throwing blocks downfield and allowing us to get some extra running room, and that puts us in scoring position as we're almost down to the 20-yard line. Depending on how things go at the halfback position here today, you might see a little bit of the other halfbacks mixed in. Najee Harris has been a little bit overused, and we find Jalen Samuels, the utility back, the H-back, a forgotten position in the NFL, a guy that we have been trying to work into the lineup as much as possible lately, and he gets the receiving rep there in the slot, goes upfield, almost uncovered for the touchdown, doesn't get touched, and puts us on the board with a 1-touchdown lead here early in this game in Kansas City. Kansas City has done a good job of attempting to answer here, bringing up a 3rd and 4 situation from about the 30-yard line. A very crucial situation here. We call the man coverage, and he hits his reliable tight end, Kelsey, over the middle, advancing the chains and putting them down on the 22-yard line, giving themselves an opportunity with 2 minutes left here in the first quarter to try to tie this ball game up. I'd say that's a pretty good likelihood. They get nice blocks up front, and their man goes up, gets 10 or 11 yards. I think that's a fumble. I don't think that was actually a fumble. They're going to call a fumble, recovered by Hill. Good awareness by Hill to pick that ball up and secure it for the team. They almost had that turnover, though, and they're not even going to review the fumble, which is fine. Don't waste any time there because they did recover it regardless. I don't know what was going on there. We are not doing very good stopping the run. Big hit by Terrell Edmonds, though. You can see that power that he brings as that strong safety, kind of developing into that prototypical type of strong safety that Pittsburgh likes to have. We are going to pinch this defense, try to prevent anything inside. We get a nice block shed, cause the pressure on Mahomes, and we get another sack. That's going to be Alex Highsmith, who is filling in for TJ Watt today on the sack, and that's going to be a massive play for this defense, bringing up a 3rd and goal from the 9, which makes things a lot more difficult on their end. We're going to go ahead and try to drop into coverage with Schobert here, try to cover some territory and prevent an easy touchdown. He dumps it off underneath and is unable to get the touchdown as the first quarter expires. We'll see what they do here. They do choose to go for the field goal, and they're going to make it a 4-point game as we're starting the second quarter. And very shortly thereafter, Ben Roethlisberger with a mistake. Realistically, it's my mistake. I thought I had my man on a curl route, so I'm going for Chase Claypool right here. I see this wide open green right here. I'm thinking, okay, we're just going to place it in Claypool's hands as he cuts back for the curl, but he's running some form of an out route, and that ball is going to go out in his direction, and obviously that's a nice, easy interception there for the defensive back. He comes up, jumps that route, and he's going to take this one almost all the way. A nice effort here by Kevin Dotson to come up and make this tackle. They will be getting the ball back here on the 10-yard line, though, so a crucial opportunity for Kansas City in order to try to set themselves up with a lead. A lead, something that they could absolutely use considering we are now in the second quarter and will be getting the ball to start the second half. He dumps it off to Travis Kelce. A huge adjustment by Kelce on that ball. Great effort to contort his body around, get that low-thrown ball, and get himself into the end zone. That will put Kansas City up 10-7 with 8.5 minutes left in the second quarter. A very quick change of events, a very quick change of momentum. When you consider most of that happened in the span of about 30 seconds. On the very next drive, Ben Roethlisberger is going to take a huge shot downfield. Claypool has some open field right here, able to come down with a nice possession catch, setting us up on the 35, 36-yard line for a good opportunity here on offense. I think we're going to start off with the screenplay, maybe try to hit them with something a little bit different than what they've seen so far. So let's go ahead and try to dump this one off to Harris. It is blocked well. Kevin Dotson does pick up the block we needed. Harris does a little bit of self-preservation and ducks out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Again, setting us up for a nice score. I think what we need to do is we need to focus on maybe getting this ball back on the ground a little bit. I think we've gone air raid maybe a little bit too much for my liking, something that has caused us to have a few mistake balls by Ben Roethlisberger, though another nice rush there by Najee Harris. We'll go ahead and bring in Kalen Ballage at halfback. I think it's a good opportunity to hand one off to him as well, see if he can't power one up for us. Does take us down to the 4-yard line, so he picks up 3. 2nd and goal from the 4. We have a couple of options here. We can try to go dive play again. I think that's what I'll do. I'll go ISO, something of a quick hitting play. Not a lot of room there for us, though. Kansas City's defense has remained stout here near the end zone. Quick slants on the outside. We could get Juju, we could get Claypool. We'll see if one of them breaks open. It looked like Juju Smith-Schuster got a little bit of separation on his route, and he did. Our sure-handed target comes down with another touchdown. That's going to give us the 4-point lead with a lot of time left here in the second quarter. A very quick scoring game here, though, so far in KC. I don't know, maybe I was wrong about keeping the ball on the ground. Our receivers are getting separation. Ben Roethlisberger has time in the pocket right now and finds Juju downfield to about the 40-yard line for another huge gain, setting us up for another positive drive. We got to at least come away from this drive with a field goal and make this a 7-point lead. That way in the second part of the game, we can go ahead and try to, attempt to get ourselves a 2-score lead. Ideally in the second half, that would be great. Najee Harris with another nice strong run, gets a beautiful stiff arm on the end of the play there, down to the 22-yard line. We're going to try to keep eating some clock here and try to melt as much of this clock as we can. Honestly, just dump this one off to Deontay Johnson. Nice secure catch up to the 16. Ben Roethlisberger 8 for 12. After that interception, has bounced back admirably. Now, this is a guy that, again, in real life, has not played up to this standard. We're having a great season with him here in the franchise, but has not played very well in real life. Harris ducks down, puts the shoulder down, trucks another man over up to 50 yards on the day, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning here on the 9-yard line going in. We're going to go ahead and sub in Kalen Ballage a little bit here for some of the power sets and try to do some ISOs and things up the middle. Nice run by him, gets us down to about the 3-yard line. We're going to try to chew as much of this clock off as we can. So we're going to switch the tempo to chew clock and maybe just run a couple of ISOs in a row, try to get as much of that clock gone as possible so that we can take this game into the half with the lead. Kalen Ballage glitching around a little bit, gets down to the 1-yard line. That'll set us up with a good opportunity to take a little bit more time off the clock and maybe an opportunity to try to toss this ball outside or something like that. I don't mind the idea of a toss. I also don't mind the idea of a play-action play here. Let's go ahead. Let's run the toss, see if Ballage can get to the edge. We'll waste a little bit of time, and he does. So maybe a little bit too much time left on the clock, but Ballage gets into the end zone, is going to give us the 11-point lead with about 30 seconds left on the clock here, and we'll see if Kansas City can't get something done with their timeouts before half. So as expected, they're going to come out here in a shotgun formation. We're going to go ahead and utilize our pass rushers to try to get in there and get some pressure on the quarterback, though. A nice pickup there. I'd expect a timeout. Getting up close to the 50-yard line, we are just going to go with some conservative zone coverage type of stuff. We're not really going to risk too much. Our pass rush has been getting in here today and finding success, so no reason, in my opinion, to do anything too crazy. We are getting some pressure and some nice coverage. It looked like Kelsey might have been open down the sideline, but it didn't seem like he wanted to throw that one away, or rather throw that one to his open target. 20 seconds left, 2 timeouts. Clock is winding. Finds Kelsey open, gets another first down. That'll get him up to the 50-yard line, and now they're in territory where they might be able to set up for a score. 15 seconds, no reason that they can't run another quick hitting play, either use the sidelines or potentially call a timeout. Another quick hitting play. They do send it over there to what looked like a tight end. That was only about a gain of 5 yards, though, so they will have to run another play if they hope to get into field goal range. Theoretically, they should be targeting the sidelines. We know that the CPU not always the best at doing that. We are going to get some pressure, and just by chance, it looked like that's going to result in a sack. I don't know who gets credited with that one at the end of the half. It looked like it could have been Ingram on the edge because he was down there and caused them to trip. I don't know. We'll check on that as we hit halftime here, though, but we will be taking that nice 11-point lead into the half. Anthony McFarland here subbing into the game is going to get a draw play. Gets us actually a pretty nice gain there. So we will be seeing a little bit more of our other running backs here as this game gets closer to the fourth quarter. Najee Harris breaking off quite a few runs, but we want to save his health as much as possible in terms of the amount of carries and the workload that we're giving him. So there we go. Anthony McFarland with another beautiful carry down to the 15-yard line. So we're going to try to rotate some of our other backs, get them as much work as we possibly can, and still maintain this lead. If we need to, we can bring Harris back in later on into the game, but right now we don't have an absolute need for him, so no need to risk injury to a player that could potentially be very important to our playoff run. There you guys can see we are picking up a couple of minor injuries. I don't know what's going to happen there with Juju Smith-Schuster, so he is potentially out today, so that does limit our options at the receiving core, and again, we have to try to work this clock down. Otherwise, having to lean on a receiving core that is very dependent on Juju Smith-Schuster could be a problem for us. Let's go ahead and we're just going to play this conservatively. We're going to go I form and try to just do another ISO, see if we can't pick up the yardage. If not, we will get that field goal that we were at least aiming for. Play this safe, play it conservatively. Oh, and almost a nice stretch. They're not going to give it to him, I don't think. Nope. 4th and 1 situation. We will go up 24-10. Bruised ribs for Juju Smith-Schuster. We're going to just sub him out, and if he chooses to come back in at some point, he can. But we're just going to go ahead and take that 14-point lead and keep trying to ride the defensive performance that we've gotten so far. Patrick Mahomes is finally getting something going here towards the end of the third quarter, taking his team down to the 25-yard line. They are down by a deficit of 17. Really not that big of a deficit when you consider how good this team can be. Just barely gets that ball off, and a nice play to adjust to that throw that was, kind of errant because Mahomes got hit as he threw there, and a good job to get upfield and make something out of that. That was a very wobbly ball because of the hit by Ingram on the edge. Moves him up to a 2nd and 6 from the 20-yard line. 20 seconds left here in the quarter. We will be moving to the 4th here soon. Mahomes does find a man. Gets another 4 or 5 yards. 173 yards for him today and a touchdown. He has not been as elite as I expected him to be. I think our secondary is just playing very well. All things considered, maybe one of their best games of the season so far. They've been keeping everything in check. Another handoff up the middle. Questionable decision there. Jerick McKinnon going to get stopped, and they are going to take the field goal and try to cut this to a 2-touchdown lead. I don't know about that decision. Some questionable decision-making going on here. Oh, and we almost block that field goal. That could have been an absolute disaster for Kansas City if Apke could have gotten there. But that's going to make it 27-13. And on a 3rd down situation here, Big Ben is going to drop back to pass. He takes a shot to the end zone to Chase Claypool. There is coverage there. For whatever reason, the coverage, though, in Madden, not very good this year. 27 breaks off of his coverage where he has that double on the guy that's receiving the ball. 21 doesn't really go up to play the ball, and Chase Claypool pretty much gets us a free touchdown there. He's going to go up and grab that one. He's done that a lot for us this season. Adds to his touchdown total. Great performance by him this game. And that's going to put this game nearly out of reach. Kansas City has to do something big here to try to get back into this one. They are using a lot of the clock right now. Minute 30 left on the clock. He does find a man open underneath down to the 5-yard line. Minute 32. Down to a minute 24. We're going to try to call a blitz here. From the 5-yard line, under pressure, hits a man, picked off by Joe Hayden, and Joe Hayden's going to have a lane to potentially take this one back. Is anyone going to be able to catch him? I don't think they will. 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Joe Hayden puts this game away. Patrick Mahomes trying to do too much, forces one into the corner of the end zone, and Pittsburgh is going to come away with a crucial late season victory here to improve to 14 wins on the season, I believe it is, and basically lock up that number 1 seed. Now, we will have tough opponents coming up against Cleveland and Baltimore, but this one is a huge statement win for the Pittsburgh Steelers in this franchise. And that's going to do it. We are 13-2 following that victory. We will be facing off against Cleveland this week. Like I said, followed by Baltimore, who is sitting at 11-4. So that Week 18 game could actually be very, very crucial depending on what happens between these next couple of games for both teams. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you did, make sure you leave a like down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll see you in the next one. Hope you have a good one.